What's up, guys? This is DC Bass USA back here again with another video on Bear Bass USA. This is the bright breakdown of my last video called That Was Not Expected. I asked you guys on Snapchat about what you wanted to see as far as videos, and I said, you know, I'm going to do main videos of me just catching fish and a bunch of B-roll, and then the other video I'm going to break down what I did for those of you who want to learn more and pick my tackle box, my brain tackle box apart and see what I get, or see what you guys get out of it. But I got some pretty good feedback as far as that, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you do, leave it a like and tell me what you like about it. And if you like the videos of me catching fish more, just leave a comment and tell me that. I want to give you guys the best opportunity to watch the videos that you guys like the most. Ever since I moved into the house I'm living in now is when I really started getting into fishing, and that's a loud ass bike, but anyway, that's when I really started getting into fishing. And so ever since then, all it's been is day in, day out fishing, learning as much as I can. And I've fished a lot over the years, and I've caught a lot of fish. And I want you guys to get the opportunity to learn whatever you can to do the same thing I've done my whole life, just catch a bunch of fish. And, anyway, we'll be over there in a little while, and we'll show you guys everything you need to know. Later. Well, sorry for the weird lighting. This is the only place I can really do this. My house is inhabited by people that are sleeping at this moment. I just got off work a little while ago. I took a shower and then did my girlfriend's oil change for her. So I didn't have much time when there's still daylight to do this video. So out here at this park, right next to the lake where I caught those fish the other day, in the video titled That Was Not Expected. And that's what we're doing here today. You know exactly what these glasses mean. It's the bite breakdown. What I asked you guys on Snapchat, what you guys like to see, I can't see anything in these. A lot of you guys, that's poop. I asked you guys on Snapchat what you want to see, and a lot of you guys said you just want to see the B-roll, you want to see the fish catches, you want to see the fish I catch and all that kind of stuff. And some of you guys said that you guys want to see the informational aspect of things, me telling you what I know, what I did catch those fish, and things like that. So that's what I'm doing here today. On Snapchat again, I said I'm going to do secondary videos to the main videos. Main video, this being, the last one being, That Was Not Expected. There's a bike right there. Anyway, I'm going to do a video for you guys, telling you guys everything I did to catch those fish back on Tuesday. Right here next to that pond, so what a place to do it. So, without further ado, let's get down to business as far as how I caught those fish. This video I'm going to tell you about the rod, the line, the reel, the lures, and where I threw it, and how I threw it, and what I did, and when I got those bites, what I did. And it's pretty easy for you guys to catch fish with these techniques and heavy brush. I'm going to go over the rods first, and the rod I was using for the jigs, those heavy structure jigs, was a medium heavy fast action rod that's getting caught in the tree. The rod I used to catch those fish on these heavy jigs was a medium heavy fast action rod with a 6.5 to 1 gear ratio on 20-pound Seaguar Red Label fluorocarbon. Now this guy right here, this is a type of jig I was using. It's more of an Arky head style jig, but it's perfect for a heavy brush. Especially in this pond when the heavy brush meets up with rocks, where you're pulling through the rocks and you feel brush and you're able to come over it. That's this type of jig with that slender, heavy style head and that heavy wire weed guard and that heavy wire hook. It's perfect for these situations, for horsing these fish out of cover, get them out of there before they get you wrapped up and catching them. The second rod I was using for the Senkos and jigs, which I have some random bait tied on right now, but don't worry about that bait. Catching green sunfish on it the other day. This is my Duckett Ghost rod. It's a medium heavy, moderate fast action rod with 10-pound high vis suffix braid to a 10-pound P-line copolymer leader. And I was using that with a finesse jig. Just in case I threw back in there and got a bite from a fish and used short striking that, I threw that finesse jig back in there and see if I can get them a second time. Well, I keep getting off of track, but I'm going to go over the lures I was using the other day to catch those fish. They're pretty simple, bunch of jigs and Texas rigs. I first started out with the Texas rig, and those fish were short striking that bait and not be able to get it in their mouth because it was so big. So I sized down there, still short striking it, picking up and dropping it. So I switched to a jig to help me be able to pick those fish up a lot better. This guy right here, you can pick this guy up at Walmart for $2.50 something cents or something like that. Really cheap. The reason why I like these jigs is because they come with heavy wire weed guard, heavy wire hook, They also come with rattles. I wasn't using rattles that day, but I like putting on them sometimes on those fish in, you know, muddy water, so those fish can really find that bait. But the main jig I was using was this guy right here. It's a heavy structure jig by Booyah. It's a Arky head kind of style jig, and that skips really well, and it comes through that cover really, really well. Especially when it's mixed with rock and brush. This guy works really well, because when it comes to the rocks, when a normal jig, sometimes you get troubles with this, those bigger heads getting snagged up in those rocks. So I use, it's kind of a football head style jig on the front, and on the back it kind of slenders out, and that really helps that jig come through cover. Like I said before, heavy wire weed guard and heavy wire hook really helps you get those fish out of that cover pretty darn easy. Those are the jigs I was using. I also used a tungsten flipping jig, which I caught one of my fish on, the smaller fish, and I switched that up to back to that jig to see if I can get any more bites, because they were picking it up before, but they just weren't eating it completely. So switched up to a smaller trailer and started catching them on that. So that's the setup for you guys. Now, where you guys want to fish this, it's pretty simple. Like what I said in that video, a lot of times those fish will sit really tight to that cover, and that's why I like a heavy jig to get back up in there. What the hell? What I did on Tuesday was pretty simple as well. Those fish were, let's say my arm is the laydown and this is the shore. Most of the time those fish are sitting right in between the shore, about in the middle of that laydown, right under it. So I'd flip my jig, skip my jig up and underneath cover as tight to that log as I could, and let it sink on slack line. Like I said in the video, you let it sink on slack line, controlled slack line. You just watch your line. If it starts swimming away, reel down to it, feel if it's a fish, and set the hook on it. Most of the time, if it's swimming away, it's going to be a fish. Your jig just won't grow a tail and swim away by itself. So, like I showed in that video on that laydown, is you get a lot of branches coming off of it. That main laydown, that big laydown, you get a lot of branches coming off of it. And a lot of times, those fish will sit in those smaller branches or on those bigger branches. You just got to find out where they are. But the other day, they're sitting on those smaller branches on the first side I fished, and that's where I caught that smaller fish. And then I switched it over to the other side and started catching them really close to that big laydown. I didn't show it, but that laydown, that stump is about that big going into the water, and it holds a lot bigger fish and a couple more of them. I got it after I ended that video. My camera died, and in between me talking and all this kind of stuff, my camera died. I wasn't able to get another battery in it because I don't have another one. But well, I hope you guys liked this episode, this bite breakdown video following my That Was Not Expected video, where I fished heavy laydowns with jigs. Hope you liked it. If you liked it, leave a comment, tell me what you want to see, and like it. Subscribe, like I said before. See you guys on the next episode of Bear Bass USA with your host, DC Bass USA. I'm going to go home, drink a beer, and go to bed. See you guys later. Well, I'm kind of upset I wasn't recording, but I decided to pick up chatterbait and throw it around these rocks, and guess what? After I finished that video, discussing how I caught them the other day, catch one of the chatterbait right across these rocks. Nighttime bass fishing, man. You never know what you're gonna get. That was cool. So, whoa, sometimes I can't believe how hard it is for me to get my words out. It's like I don't even speak English or something.